Coach Nurse, we'll start with Doug.
Nick, Doug Smith from the Toronto Star down to your right. I guess, what's going through your mind when that ball's bouncing on the rim for about 7 minutes?
Looks like it's going in. Looks like it was going in the whole time to me. I thought it was. But just, again, I thought it was, obviously, it's a nice lucky bounce, right? But I thought we were very unlucky for a lot of that game. So it came back to us a little bit, balanced out.
Kyle didn't seem to have the greatest scoring nights, but his contribution would have been as good as he's had all year, maybe, the way he played all night.
Yeah, I really was impressed with his defense, Doug. I thought he was being so alert and aggressive on his switch outs, right? You just, every time you saw an opening coming, there he was, taking it away, and then obviously had that huge steal. And I think we had back-to-back shot clock violations, and that was getting ready to be a third one, and he got to it just in the nick of time. So he played a lot of minutes. I think he played the whole second half, and he was great down the stretch defensively.
Going to Ryan on your left, Coach.
Hey, Coach. Before the game, we talked about defense and locking it in. The last 3.5 minutes, I think J.J. Redick had an and-one opportunity. The only other field goal made by Philly was that Butler bucket in the last 4 or 5 seconds.
It was a big one.
Yeah, but the defense, what
up,
impressed you about your defense over the last 4 minutes?
Well, I mean, we just were doing it all, right? We were pressuring the ball. We were corralling the right guys for a split second with two. We were either rotating or hustling back to our own. So it wasn't, just because we put two on the ball, it didn't mean something was automatically open. And then we rebounded it after we contest. But, those possessions defensively were awesome. They had, again, a lot where they didn't even get a look at the basket.
I'll go to Bruce on your right here, Coach.
Nick, right here. Bruce Arthur from the Toronto Star. That last play, was it basically give Kawhi the ball at the top and let him try to create as he kind of did in Game 4? Yeah,
that's it. We run Kyle off there first as the first option, and then Kawhi loops under there and gets it at the top, and then it's his call from there what to do. We've seen that one a few times this year. Again, not sure he's made that exact shot. He's probably taken it 4 or 5 times, but balanced out again a little bit. I think he missed a couple of those along the way this season, that exact same play, similar shot. So it's good that the balancing scales were there tonight.
To Dave, down front near your left.
Dave McMenamin, ESPN. Nick, what's it been like for you to coach Kawhi Leonard this first year, and what have you seen from him as the stakes have gotten higher and higher in the playoffs?
Well, first of all, what it's been like to coach him, he's, I'm sure I have along the line had a more attentive player, probably one of my walk-ons on one of the college teams I coached that was paying attention. But it's amazing to me that he's, whether we're in the huddle or in the locker room or in the film room, he's always locked in on what the coaching staff is saying. And I think that is a interesting thing about him, right? He's very coachable. He's focused and pays attention. So I think that's a pretty big statement to say that. But then again, when you get to his play here in the playoffs, it's been at an elite level, right? I mean, determined level. And tonight I thought he was awesome at both ends, and that's again I think his uniqueness. Not only can he get you 30, right, and then anywhere upwards from that, but there's moments when he can just decide you're not scoring either, or I'm going to take it from you, or something like that. And I think that's a pretty amazing thing.
We'll go to Sopan.
Hey, Coach, Sopan Deb with the New York Times. I was wondering, there's been a lot made in recent years of the Raptors' lack of postseason success. What does this win mean for the franchise as a whole?
I mean, listen, the most important thing is that this team is still playing, and I think there's still room for growth with this team. Right, I've mentioned it a few times here during both these playoff series that I thought we played a very, very good, hot Orlando team, and if we get through, it would make us better. And this was a very, very good team with unbelievable offensive firepower, size, talent, and we obviously, hopefully, grew or are continuing to grow through advancing through this series. So that's what's most important to me. Again, I don't think the past has really anything to do with this team. I know it's always there for historical data and we need to compare and stuff, but I don't or won't or can't. All I really care about now is these guys enjoying this for a few hours tonight and then getting their game faces locked back in to prepare for the next round.
To John on your left there, Coach.
Nick, here, Sean Woodley, Raptors HQ. Serge Ibaka tonight, 29 minutes. You shortened the rotation down to 7. He played crunch time. What did you think of Serge's game tonight?
Well, he was obviously really big out there, right? He had a couple offensive putbacks. He rebounded. He was rim protecting. I'm not sure if he blocked any shots or not, but he was maybe altering a few, and he grabbed a few rebounds. And he was confident on offense. I thought he was. There was a stretch there when he was one of maybe the second most confidence guy out there behind Kawhi. Right? It'd get kicked over to him, and he was just pulling it, or he was flying inside and catching a dump off, and he was finding a way to get it in. So. It was big. I think, we talked about the size being an issue for us. I liked the look of that lineup. Kyle as kind of the floor general out there, and then a bunch of big guys, with Kawhi at the 2 and Pascal at the 3 and Serge at the 4 and Mark at the 5. And it didn't seem to cause us too many problems on the defensive end, especially. It was excellent. The offense was a little, I keep saying the same thing, a little out of rhythm and not shot makey enough. But obviously that lineup brought it home for the last 7-8 minutes of the game.
Oh, last couple questions. We'll go to Sarah on your right here, Coach.
Hi, Nick. Sarah Todd, Philadelphia Inquirer. Yesterday we talked a lot about how much rebounding was going to impact this game. Can you just speak about the team's offensive rebounding effort especially, and how big it was just in the last few minutes, too? You talked about a couple of those Surge's putbacks.
Yeah, I mean, we had a lot of offensive rebounds. There was a lot to get, right? There was a high volume of shots available to offensive rebound tonight. That's part of it. But again, I thought there was some great determination there. I thought even when they did secure them, it was a hard defensive rebound for them. And again, I think it's just a telling sign of how hard your team's playing, or how hard it is to get a stop, right? Even when the defensive rebound is super hard. So it was big for us.
To Ian, Coach, on your right there.
Hey, Coach, Ian Harrison, Associated Press. It's no secret what you're going to see in Milwaukee, but I imagine you may have been keeping one eye on them throughout the playoffs. What have you seen, and what do you expect in this upcoming series?
Well, it's a totally different style than we've just been through in our last 2 series, right? These were set play teams, pretty methodical in offense. They're going to come down and look at things and run some post-ups and run stuff for their certain guys. And not to say Milwaukee doesn't do some of that too, but they'd much rather spread the floor, give it to a guy and put their head down and take it to the rim and put it in the rim. And if you send help, they're going to fire it out and they're going to shoot a ton of threes. So it's a little different style that we're going to see. We're going to have to adjust to that really quickly, obviously. We're going to have to forget about how happy we are pretty quickly, because it's a hungry team. It's a very deep team, very good team. We're going to have to, like I said, we're going to have to continue to grow. And we're going to have to play better.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you.